Greetings, my little superstars! Ruppy here, your ringmaster for the Columbus Swoo Amazing Digital Circus Edition! Somehow, our funny buddies have fought their way to a 4-0 record in the UNPL Spring Fling. Seems like a sure sign they're having tons of fun with these little adventures I keep sending them on. I can tell you that Gangle is certainly in good spirits after cooking up a recipe for success last week, with her Mirror Herb Acid Armor dish garnering her rave reviews as she stopped our opponents cold. We still have 3 weeks left in the Spring Fling season, however, and I do believe that one more win all but guarantees we get to keep the fun going into this wacky idea called playoffs. So, why don't we see what our little superstars can do on this wild ride? Today's adventure is Amazing Appalachian Avalanche! That's right! For week 5, we get to dance with our old friend DapperSnapper and his Appalachia Appletuns once again. And this time, he's bringing out all the stops to try and spoil our fun. Iron Jugulis is a low-tier Leviathan capable of blowing us away, especially with the possibility of a booster energy to supercharge its batteries. Shaman is a mythical monster with base 100s across the board who can become quite the tricky hedge to trim. Okidogi is an absolute monster who has no qualms about taking a bite out of our circus tent. Regidrago is a tough nut to crack that could wallop us on either side of the offensive rainbow. So many threats, so little time. That said, Dapper's Delights have some notably familiar weaknesses in the form of Ice, Flying, and Ghost. And you know who loves the sound of that? That's right, it's Gangle! Gangle's not getting too crazy this week, running just enough speed to always outrun that hilarious hedgehog Shaman. With boots in case Sandslash tries to set up some stealth rocks and Rapid Spin to clean up on aisle 1. Recover keeps her healthy while the familiar combo of Freeze Dry and Terra Blast makes its return. And with Gangle pulling her mini continent back out to wear, she'll be looking to give a little geography lesson, as anything that resists Freeze Dry is no match for the power of the Earth. Of course, if Ice and Flying are weaknesses we're looking to play around with, then Gangle's going to need a hand, or wing, from her funny feathery friend, Kaufmo! Kaufmo's bringing his usual bag of tricks this week, with his own pair of boots to fly over those pesky potential pebbles, and Volt Absorb to potentially laugh at Magneton's attempts to shock us, with just enough speed to always outrun Dapper's entire crew, barring any secret scarfs. Speaking of scarfs, why don't we talk about the one that's being modeled this week by the lovely Ragatha? That's right, our plush pal is running a choice scarf this week, with a fairly standard EV spread, to outrun and outgun Dapper's team, with Moonblast and Psyshock as stab, as Mystical Fire and Shadow Ball give her coverage for just about everything else. Now, why this approach, you may ask? Well, my dear little hard-shell hamburger, I'll tell you. Ragatha naturally speed ties with Okidogi and Regidrago, two fearsome foes she can easily blow back under the right circumstances. With a choice scarf, not only can she outpace them to do just that, but in the event of a scarf dog or a dragon dancing dragon head thing, she can at least force a potential speed tie, so her coming apart at the seams isn't a sure thing. Sorry, Dapper, but Ragatha is, in fact, made of tougher fluff. If you don't believe me, then maybe you can have a little chat with our returning ringmaster, Caine! That's right, Caine is finally coming back to play, and he's really got that dog in him this week. Rocking a choice band for maximum firepower, Caine's game is simple. Come in and abstract the opposition. Flare Blitz is powerful, if reckless stab, that still torches huge holes in Dapper's apples that resist it thanks to that band. Play Rough and Psychic Fangs cover the aforementioned deadly duo of Okidogi and Regidrago, especially with enough speed to stay one step ahead of them, and extreme speed is radical priority that affords him the luxury of being able to come in and clean up at the very end if the adventure is close to being over and Dapper's crew is all worn out. Next up for our merry band of digital misfits this week is our old friend Gummy Goo. Gummy Goo's also packing Intimidate this week, just like Caine, to try and take the sting out of Dapper's physical offense, as well as an Assault Vest to try and sponge a few special hits during his latest sugary heist. Once again benchmarking for the Dogi-Drago duo, Gummy Goo's plan this week is to try out his new toy Scale Shot, to constantly stay one step ahead of the ladder and evade the law, allowing him to turn Dapper's team into apple pie with Earthquake and Knockoff. Gunk Shot is a nasty little surprise to make sure the likes of Shaman and Florges don't slow him down and imprison him for the crime of having too much fun. How rude would that be? Now, we're certainly packing a lot of offensive punch this week, so a defensive backbone would be very much appreciated to round out our adventuring party. That's where Kinger comes in! Hoping to make amends to our resident bug enthusiast so he doesn't fixate too much on some bugs I've been noticing around here lately. Kinger is our all-purpose shield this week, using his natural special bulk and solid physical bulk to try and set the stage for today's show. Surf and Ice Beam cover everything decently well, while Roost keeps him healthy and hard at work. And he's also hoping to spread some stealth rocks of his very own to pressure Sandslash as Dapper's only spinner. That's the roster for today's adventure. Will our funny buddies be able to keep this undefeated fun going? Will Dapper finally be able to secure a victory over me? And will I ever find out what the heck is going on with all these weird glitches that have been popping up out of nowhere? You all stay tuned to find out. I'm gonna go check that exit door over there real quick.
Oh. Screaming line drive.
Alright, it is battle time. I apologize for whatever the heck just happened. Apparently an alternate universe version of me came through a portal, hijacked my YouTube channel, and broadcast a backyard baseball game with DapperSnapper as opposed to the Pokemon battle we're about to play. Don't know what on earth happened there, so kind of trying to fix any technical difficulties as we go, and make sure that we have no interdimensional nonsense happening again for this, I guess it would be a rebroadcast? However it works, but I do not recall playing a backyard baseball game with DapperSnapper. I wonder if including Caine on my team was a bad idea. Maybe he opened a portal to, I mean, I'm not trying to steal his circus from him. I'm just, you know, borrowing the idea from my Pokemon team. I'm not trying to take anything away from the Ringmaster. But regardless, we should hopefully have all the interdimensional nonsense sorted out. Hopefully there will be no further backyard baseball interruptions, though that would be pretty cool, I guess. And, yeah, now it is actually battle time, with a proper battle. Alrighty, so we have Haunter, who he's informed me is Terra Fairy, Shaman, Okidogi, Iron Jugulis, Regidrago, and Empoleon. So, a little surprised to not see Skeledirge, or Sandslash, or Florges to a small degree. But for the most part, this is kind of sort of what I expected. Not too overly surprised here. I mean, Dapper could bring any number of things against me, to be quite frank. What do I want to lead with? I wouldn't be surprised at a Shaman lead, even a Jugulis lead. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lead Kinger, and we will figure this out from there. Because at least with Kinger, I can get rocks up, and we can go from there. Especially since Sandslash, I believe, is his only removal, and that is not here. I believe it's also his only hazard setter, too. Regardless, good luck, have fun, Dapper. And, let's see how this fares. As he's going to lead with the Haunter.
Okay, so I know this thing is Terra Fairy, so probably not the best of starts for him, potentially? I don't know what this Haunter would want to do to me. I'm just gonna get my rocks up, as he's just gonna go ahead and switch. Fair enough. Into Okidogi! Good to know. I've at least got my rocks up, so there is that. You are an interesting conundrum right now. What are you? Because to some degree, I need Kinger for Empoleon, Haunter, maybe Regidrago if it's special. I kind of feel like Kaufmo might be my play. No, I think the play is Caine, actually. Maybe this is a mistake, but we can get Intimidate off on this thing. We can kind of go from there. Right. Right. That's a thing that exists. And so is that. Okay. Well, that's quite the start to things. Noted. Not a fan of that. I don't know if Flare Blitz will thaw me out is the problem. I'm gonna go for it anyway just to try, I guess. Yes, it does. Okay, I will take that. I would have preferred to pop this thing with Psychic Fangs, but... Oh, wow! Okay! That's a thing that happened. I am... Well, shit. I'm incredibly sorry about that, Dapper. There is no world where that Flare Blitz, even with me being banded, there's no world where that should have O-code. Absolutely none. I did a ton to myself in recoil, too. Ugh. Well, that leaves a very bad taste in my mouth now. So that said, I think I'm gonna go back into Kinger now, with, this Empoleon in front of me, see what this thing wants to do. I did not see if it had boots or anything. I was too busy kind of trying to watch the taste of that crit out of my mouth. U-turn. Fair enough. I guess I'll have to find out if and when it comes back in later. But we have Empoleon in here with Okidogi gone. I don't know what he wants to send in on this thing, honestly. Regidrago, which kind of doesn't surprise me, actually. And now the question has to be raised, what kind of set are you? Let's see. I'm back at full, which is nice. If you're specs, I can take an Earth Power. If you're a D-Dance set, I should be able to take an Earthquake. If you're banded, I should still be able to take an Earthquake. So I think Ice Beam is my play to get damage off on this thing. Yep, you are the D-Dance set. Okay, good to know. I was afraid of that. That is fine, though. I can get damage off of this Ice Beam. I should be able to take an Earthquake from you, I think. Call me crazy, I'm gonna go for another Ice Beam. I think I can tank an Earthquake from this thing. Barely. That did a lot more than I thought it would, but Kinger is going to be able to take down Regidrago, so we do have that going for us at the very least. But I have pretty much expended Kinger to do it, which does not bode the best. Well, I mean, Shaman could definitely pick me off. Speaking of which... Hello, Shaman. So very nice to see you. I would have preferred not to right now. Okay. I'm gonna go into Kaufmo. I should be able to take a Seed Flare. I would definitely dodge an Earth Power. I kind of want to try to preserve Kinger. Maybe I really shouldn't in retrospect. Maybe this is a bad play. Bullet Seed. You know, in retrospect, that kind of makes sense. Okay, so I don't think that's loaded dice because that's a guaranteed 3 hits. Not going Seed Flare actually makes sense because of my double competitive. Because I don't think it's a guarantee, but it definitely has a very high SPDF drop rate. So I'm just going to go ahead and click the Hurricane button, as he's going to get Shaman out of here. Physical Shaman? I mean, that'd be an interesting idea. As Haunter's going to come back in now. And we are going to see how well you take a Hurricane. Not well. If you're Scarfed, then I think that Confusion might actually potentially matter. You're low enough a U-turn might be able to kill. I'm just going to go for the Thunderbolt. It's the safest play, as he's going to go ahead and Terrasilize into Fairy. Okay, so this game is definitely all over the place in terms of early game hacks. Was not the fondest of that, but I guess we will see where things go from here. You are not Scarf, so okay. So I know Dapper's never actually beaten me, but come on now. This is... Why are we doing things this way? I just feel... I feel real bad now. I'm not a fan of this. This is not how I would have wanted this game to go. I would have preferred something... I guess I'll go back into Kinger now. Preserve Cough Mode just in case for the Shaman. I think Kinger is pretty much hit his limit. So that may be... I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and Roost. I was not expecting it to go this way. I would have preferred if it didn't go this way. I mean, obviously, play your best, have fun, and all of that, obviously, but... I don't know. I'm gonna go for an Ice Beam. I want to see what the Shaman wants to do. If it's a physical Shaman, that would actually be quite interesting. I mean, so far it's only shown me Bullet Seed. I haven't seen leftovers from it. I'm almost positive that Empoleon is Scarf at this point. Based on the fact that he stayed in and tried to Ice Beam Kinger. Kinger definitely has some good bulk going for him. In a weird sort of way, I guess this is kind of Kinger's redemption for my mistake last week with his EVs. Zen Headbutt! Okay. Kind of curious now. What were you predicting? Because maybe Kilowattrel? Because that was about as neutral a play as you can get for Kilowattrel, I guess. Unless you have Ancient Power, but... Yeah, you're definitely a physical Shaman. Which I guess means I don't know if you have anything that can actually... touch Kinger, maybe? Well, Empoleon's gonna come back out, so there's that at least. That's more... Rocks Chip on you. This is Ice Beam Chip. Kinger's gonna get Leftovers back. And I'm gonna go ahead and Surf now. Mud Shot! Okay. I mean, the downside is that it is gonna trigger competitive. So the Surf is actually gonna take Empoleon, or Inteleon out. And Kinger is still not in the worst of spots, honestly. I mean, Iron Jugulis and Shaman are all that's left. Kind of wondering now if you're Banded, maybe? I mean, the possibility is certainly there. I'm just gonna go ahead and Ice Beam again. Yep, you're gonna Bolt Seed. Is it wrong of me to actually kind of hope Kinger goes down here? I guess I was hoping for a little too much. So all that remains is Iron Jugulis. I don't know what kind of set it is. I mean, maybe it's Booster Energy. It probably is, honestly. It's going to take rocks. It is Booster Energy. So that is going to be Speed. Yep. Kinger is at 132. Which, unfortunately, I think is out of Dark Pulse range since you got the Speed Boost. I'm just going to Ice Beam, I guess. I mean, I really don't need more differential at this point, and I honestly do feel extremely bad about how this game has gone, because this was not my plan at all. So I would honestly rather take that and let that happen. Which I guess now raises the question of how I'm going to respond to you then. I mean, I don't know what Iron Jugulis has for Ragatha, so I guess I'll just go Ragatha and finish this game off, I suppose. Absolutely not how I had wanted this game to go, intended this game to go. Just gonna take this Dark Pulse and hit this Moonblast, and that is gonna be it. I want to say GG to Dapper. I want to so bad. But I honestly don't think it's warranted. I think it's honestly rude after how that game went, because that was disgusting. I don't think the Flare Blitz crit honestly balanced out the Arcanine freeze. I really don't. I mean, I'll say GG to Dapper anyway, just because it is the respectful thing to do. But yeah, that's a game that's going to leave a bad taste in my mouth for a while. Honestly, I didn't see our backyard baseball game from an alternate universe. Hopefully that was more competitive than this ended up being. I just feel bad all around. I mean, I know I prepped the best I could and brought my A game, but those early hacks were not... Game, this was not warranted. You didn't have to do Dapper dirty like that just to keep me undefeated. I'm really not a fan of that. As I know it's part of the game, but that's gonna leave a bad taste in my mouth for the next week. I hope you all still enjoyed this regardless. Again, just for the sake of respect, GG to Dapper, even though I don't think this really was a GG, and that is coming from me as a winner. That was not a... That was just... Blah. But, all that said, I still thank you guys for watching. I have been Ruppy, and my Columbus Swoo and I will see you guys next time. Take care.